Hello again. This is the table of material requirements for upgrading charms that I talked about earlier on today. And I just wanted to sort of demonstrate its usage as to lead into something. Let's say I want to upgrade my handicraft charm. Sure, I'm using this table, or I could look it up here. The problem is, I have no clue what these materials are. And of course, if you're here looking for what these are in the first place, you probably don't have these unlocked. And so you have no way of knowing how to actually farm them. And yeah, that's what today's video is about. I've put together a list of all of the Guiding Lands monster drops, and I thought I would show you how to use it. Everything's listed out here, and you can search alphabetically. So for example, I needed Tempered Azure main. Oh, that's a tempered drop, so we'll go to Tempered Azure main. And that comes from Lunastra in the Guiding Lands. I needed Tempered Tailblade. Well, let's just do a non-tempered part, just because I want to show them both. I don't know, let's say I needed Extinction Greathorn. Then I can see that it comes from the Nurgi subspecies. Okay, so I've linked this spreadsheet in the description. It shows you where everything comes from. However, there's a little bit of nuance to how this system works and how these drops work, and I need to go into sort of a bit more detail before we carry on first. So let's go into the game itself. So you might have noticed that I had generic drops listed separately from monster drops, and things like the great spirit vein gems and the dragon vein solid bones and all of those are what I classified as generic drops, and I want to sort of explain how those work. So every single monster in the Guiding Lands, we're not going to talk about tempered just yet, we'll get onto that. Every non-tempered monster in the Guiding Lands drops two materials. It drops a generic bone, so all of these drop the Fierce Dragon Vein bone, for example. And they all drop their own monster unique item too. So Kulu has this colorful plume, Bareth has this muddy crown, etc, etc. You'll see that some of the harder monsters will drop heavy Dragon Vein bones, like Diablos and Glavenus, for example. So their generic drop is this heavy Dragon Vein bone. But they, of course, also have their own unique drops, Smoldering Tail Edge and Twisted Gravehorn, respectively. There is a third tier. Ebony Odogaron, for example, drops it. Dragon Vein Solid Bone as his generic drop. Same with Black Diablos. It drops Dragon Vein Solid Bone as well as its unique drop. And then the last tier would be the Elder Dragon ones, Elder Dragon Vein Bones. You know, Velkhana drops it, Luna, Tio, they all drop it. But they all have their own unique drops too. So, as you've seen, there are 4 tiers. It's similar to threat level, but slightly different. You'll get a feel for what drops what eventually. Just for now, understand that things like Rathian will drop the basic Fierce Dragon Vein Bone. Things like Rathalos will drop the Heavy Dragon Vein Bone. Something like Azure Rathalos will drop the highest tier, the Dragon Vein Solid Bone. And then the Elder Dragon Vein Bone comes from Elder Dragons. And so next we should talk about Tempered Monsters. So tempered monsters are slightly different in that they have 3 drops. You'll notice that regular Bareth drops the Muddy Crown, whereas tempered Bareth drops the Tempered Crown. And it also drops a bone, which is suspiciously familiar, and this gem shard. So the thing is, tempered monsters have 2 of these generic drops, the Spirit Vein Slug Bone and the Spirit Vein Gem Shard. Every single tempered monster will drop one of these bones and one of these gem shards. Now, these aren't based on those 4 tiers from the previous set of monsters. These are based entirely on threat levels. So threat level 1 will drop Spirit Vein Slug Bones and Spirit Vein Gem Shards. Threat level 2 will drop Spirit Vein Solid Bones and Spirit Vein Gems. And then threat level 3, which I haven't unlocked at the moment, are just tempered Elder Dragons. And they will drop Elder Spirit Vein Bones and Great Spirit Vein Gems. Even the unique material changes. So if we compare, for example, Anjanath, which drops this Flickering Flame Pelt, and Tempered Anjanath, which drops Tempered Flame Pelt, the unique drop there is 2 per monster. One for the non-tempered and one for the tempered. Okay, so just to summarize, there are generic drops which take the form of these bones and these gems, which come from non-tempered and tempered monsters, and there are unique drops, and every monster has 2 unique drops. One for its base form, and one for its tempered form. So for example, Muddy Crown and Tempered Crown for Barith. And so now we can sort of talk about these tables in a bit more detail. Under generic drops, I have the 4 non-tempered monster bond drops here, and an explanation of how they work. And I have the 3 tempered bond drops with an explanation of how they work, and also the 3 gems. Don't forget, a lot of these materials, a lot of these upgrades will require the gathering nodes that we've talked about in a previous video. Maybe I'll link to that in the description in case you need that, but they're also in this document under a different page. And now every monster is listed under monster drops. They'll have a non-tempered drop and a tempered drop. Some monsters don't have tempered versions, so for example Great Jagras doesn't have a tempered version, same with Kulu, same with Silver Lost Gold Rathian. Weirdly enough, Scarred Yan Garuga doesn't seem to spawn unless it's tempered. I don't really know, I haven't gotten that far yet, but yeah, maybe somebody else can confirm. But Yan Garuga can only be non-tempered, and Scarred Yan Garuga seemingly can only be tempered. But anyway, these are the 2 drops per each. I've got some lookup tools here. To use them, you'll have to download the spreadsheet itself, but that's not too difficult. You can either pick a monster, these are arranged alphabetically, and find the 2 drops, or you can pick a drop, so for example Assassin Cutwing, and it'll tell you which monster you need to fight to get it. These are split between tempered and non-tempered to keep the drop down menus a bit cleaner. All of these T's kind of get clustered up if you bring the 2 drop downs together. Tempered pick scale, I think you can guess who that's from. Pink Rathian. And yeah, that's all there really is to it. So, using some of the other things that I've posted previously that have a lot of monster parts for augments and for charm upgrades and for that kind of thing, you can find the name of the part that you need. So for example, tempered as your scale, and then you can come into here. I know it's tempered because tempered as your scale should be near the top. Tempered as your scale, and that's from Azure-Rathalos. Perfect. So now I know exactly what I need to farm to get that augment. I hope that makes sense, and I hope you find this spreadsheet useful. Thank you very much for watching. Consider liking, subbing and stuff. This took me a long time to put this information together. I had to fucking learn how to do Google spreadsheet formulae, so, you know, be thankful for that. But anyway, you have a lovely evening. Take care.